What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a story time about my first time doing Oxycontin. But before I dive into that, I would like to mention a couple of things. First and foremost, before anything else, I'm actually live on Twitch right now, guys. As you are watching this, I am most likely live if you are early. I'm going to try messing around with live streaming a little bit, maybe just dick around, chill out with you guys. So stop on by, watch my stream. My plan is for tonight, we're going to be doing some Skyrim Legendary difficulty permadeath, which means that I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and if I die once, I have to delete the entire character. So yeah, a lot of keyboards will be thrown. Hope you guys will enjoy that stream. And I'm going to be troubleshooting a little bit. It's my first time streaming in a long time, so if the quality isn't the best or it's kind of messed up, bear with me, please. But that's all I have to say in the beginning here. Drop a like if you guys do enjoy. And also, I uploaded another VR video on my second channel. I'm going to try to be pumping out some maybe daily or bi-daily videos on there. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's dive into it. So first time doing Oxycontin. Now, this is actually my first and only time I've ever done Oxys, and this was a while ago, back in like late February of 2016, so almost a year ago at this point, like 11 months ago, give or take, something around that. So at this point in time, I transferred to my alternative school. I was kind of just doing every drug I could get my hands on, and my life was kind of fucked, and there was this girl who I knew who we're going to call, what are we going to call her? We're going to call her Shelly. That seems to be a common nickname that I give females on this channel. So, Shelly had owed me a little bit of money. She owed me like $40, no biggie. I fronted her some weed. So it wasn't a huge deal, I wasn't too pissed about it. But she asked me if she could pay me in something that wasn't money, and I was like, yeah, because I did a lot of drugs, so if she wanted to pay me in drugs, fine by me. I was just going to go spend the money on drugs anyways, so I knew that she was kind of an opiate girl, she was big into hydros and all that crap, messing with that. She got I don't know if it was hers or one of her parents, but she got a prescription bottle of some hydrocodone syrup one time. That was pretty fun to mess around with, but on this particular day, she told me that she had an Oxy, and one Oxy is all she had left. And I'd never done Oxys, but I'd heard some things about this shit. I'd heard they were stronger. I'd heard they were the better version of Hydros. So I was interested. She told me she had one Oxy, and then she'd throw me some Hydros, and just basically a bunch of painkillers and call it a day. So at this point, I was kind of experimenting with painkillers. Luckily, it never developed into anything more than just experimentation, because painkillers are fucked, guys. If you're gonna do drugs, stick to weed. That's the Goblin tip right there. Just stick to weed if you're really gonna do drugs. That's the only thing you need, believe me. But anyways, so she threw me, I got in her car. This was like after school that day. It was like I want to say it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. And I got in her car, and she usually drove me home from school, because I didn't have a car at this point, and I could take the bus, but fuck the bus, when you have a ride home where you can bang the aux and smoke, why would you ride the fucking bus? That just doesn't even make sense. So I get in this girl's car, and we're riding home. She's like, oh yeah, I just got to stop home and grab the stuff real quick. So I'm like, all right. So she pulls up to her house, pulls in the driveway. And it's just like, all right, wait here and lay down in the seat, because my parents can't see that I'm with anyone. They think I'm going to the gym. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I lay down. I'm literally just all the way leaned back in this girl's seat, just chilling on my phone, relaxing, couldn't really do much else. And she was in there for what seemed like ever. It was like 20 fucking minutes before this girl came out, and I was blown. I was mad as hell. She came out, and I was like, what the fuck did you have me sit here for? Like, why would you not just drop me off and then come back to my house? Like, what the fuck? So she gets back in the car, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, didn't expect to be held up like that. And we pull off. We were going to smoke at this point, we were going to match a little bit. So we went to this random ass spot in her neighborhood and just rolled up a blunt and smoked it. And then she handed me the bag, and she was like, all right, there's one Oxy in there and the rest are Hydros. Now, I don't remember the dosage of the Hydros. I think they were the 10 325s, the 10 milligrams of Hydro and the 325 of, however you say it, acetaminophen or something like that. I don't know. And then she gave me one single Oxy in that bag, and she didn't have to point it out. It was very clear which one was not like the others. It was this little, I want to say it was like pink. It was kind of a weird color, and it was a 20 milligram Oxy. I believe it was pink. I'm 95% sure it was pink. So she's like, all right, here you go, have fun. There was a decent amount of Hydros in there, so I was okay with it. So I shook up with her. I was like, all right, nice smoking with you. Just see you later. Because at this point, she'd already driven me back home. My house was like 5 minutes from this girl's house. So, like, by the time we finished smoking the blunt, like, as our conversation was going about the Oxy and the Hydros, we'd gotten home before the conversation was even done. So, I get out of her car, go inside, and I'm chilling, and I don't really know what to do at this point. I know that I had some weed left. I kind of wanted to smoke, but I was really intrigued by this Oxy. I was really curious because, with Hydros, I wouldn't do a ton at a time. I would take maybe like 20, 30 milligrams of Hydros at a time, sometimes 40. It depended. Like, I remember my first time, I'm pretty sure I did 40 if I remember correctly, and that, I was pretty fucked up, but I kind of wanted to tone it down after that because I used Oxys and Hydros, to more like kind of relax, not get fucked up. But this had me interested, so I didn't really know what to do with it. So I call her and I'm like, yo, have you ever done these? Or like, do you just have them? And she's like, oh, I've done them a couple times. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, should I just pop it? Do I like, what's the best way to do this? And she's like, oh, don't just pop it. What you should do is crush it up. And I was like, do I snort it? Because at this point, like, I wasn't a huge fan of the idea of snorting it. I went through my phase of enjoying snorting pills, and now I was at the point where if it's not ketamine, I'm not snorting it. Like, that was just kind of where I was in life. Like, if it was a pill, I was just popping it. Even though all my homies would tell me, like, even crushing up pills, I hated. Like, I had to just pop it straight up, get it down as quick as I can, because I'd had some bad experiences with like crushing Xanax and trying to chew it. It's disgusting. It's fucking repulsive. So that kind of turned me off of like snorting and like crushing pills and shit. And of course, she tells me, oh yeah, just crush it up and, snort it, do what you want with it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to snort it. I was like, do I have to crush it up? And she's like, it'll be a lot more effective. And I was like, all right, now I didn't really know anything about Oxys at this point. I'd known people who had done them, including her, but I was never curious about it. Like, I never wanted to go out of my way to try Oxys. It just kind of happened. So I crushed it up, and what I ended up doing was I decided I was just going to throw it in a can of soda. I had this little can of Coke, and I poured it into a cup, and, I put some ice on it, because you can't drink soda without ice. Like, honestly, you can't. If you can drink soda without ice, you're a madman. You're an absolute madman. I'll tell you that much. You're fucking insane. But anyways, I take the crushed up Oxy, it's on my desk, and I kind of hold the cup up to the edge of the desk and then like use my debit card and just scrape it all in there. And I'm just looking at this cup, and I didn't crush it up very well. It wasn't like a very fine powder. It was still kind of chunky, but it was like good enough to drink, I guess. And I was just looking down. I was just like, wow, this looks like shit. It was all like, it was this murky ass Coke. It was just, oh God. So I just slammed it. I slammed this Coke as quick as I could. I did not put it down once. I just bottoms upped it. And I think the soda helped. I think if there was water, it would have been disgusting. But, thankfully I had a soda, so it wasn't that bad. Here's one thing I want to talk about off topic, but why do motherfuckers say pop? That shit's weird in my opinion. That shit's fucking weird. Don't say pop. It's soda, all right? But or soda pop if you want to compromise. Your fucking choice. But anyways, back on topic. So I had this in the Coke, and I slammed the Coke, and it was weird. It was like little chunks of it kind of getting stuck on like the back of my tongue, like in my throat. So after I downed the Coke, I went and grabbed a bottle of water and just slammed that too, just to make sure I got everything down. I was like switching it around in my mouth, just making sure I got everything down. So I get everything down, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know how much time went by at this point, because I was just playing games, chilling at home, the usual for when I do drugs. At this point, I would just kind of chill at home, play games, and get high. That's what I did. So eventually, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes later, I really don't know how long it was, it hit me, and this was intense. This was, it was similar to Hydros, but it was different at the same time. It was more of like a stoned, barred out kind of body high almost. It was weird. Like with Hydros, I felt more the mental aspect of it almost, where I felt like I was on the cloud. My head was feeling really light, really good. With this Oxy I took, I felt like I was almost just glued to my chair. I was sitting there at my desk in my chair, and I was just plastered to it. I just felt so sedated is really the best word for it. And I was just laying there in my chair, like slumping back, like just slowly getting lower and lower, just sitting there watching YouTube videos, playing games. God knows what I was playing. Probably like Counter-Strike or some shit. Maybe League. I don't know. Definitely know I wasn't performing well. I'll tell you that much. I was not playing well. But it hit me in a way that I didn't expect. I expected it to be basically the same thing as hydros, and it kind of is. It's a similar like mental feeling. In hydros, it's just I feel like with hydrocodone, the mental aspect of it is stronger, and with oxys, I almost feel like the body high is a little stronger. If that makes any sense, I don't know. Maybe some more of you opiate veterans could give me some insight on that, because I didn't really fuck with opiates for very long, but. Anyways, so I'm sitting there just plastered in my chair, and like I just don't want to get up and do anything, like I just don't feel anything but happy. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, man, this is nice. This feels good. I feel comfortable. I was kind of tired going into it. Now at this point, I didn't feel tired. I wasn't awake, but I wasn't tired. I was just content. I was just like, hell yeah, this is the shit, and like I kind of. My thoughts were a little like foggy, not too bad, but like definitely not sober thinking, I'll tell you that much. I mean, that's kind of implied because I was fucking high, but like especially on the oxy, it's like my thoughts were almost just non-existent, when I would have a thought, it would go away very quickly. Like I was just sitting there just completely blank, just blank-faced, blank-minded. I wasn't really like, my mind wasn't churning like it normally is when I'm sober, when I'm stoned or anything like that. I was just sitting there, when a thought would come up, like I would think of doing something. I was playing games like a fucking idiot. I'm sure of it because I just couldn't process like strategies or anything, like every time a thought would come up, it would go away very quickly. Like I mentioned earlier, it would be a very short-lived thing, a very simple thing. Like I had a hard time, I almost want to say comprehending things. I don't really know how else to word it. It was just like, I just felt very dumb. I don't want to say barred out, but it was, in a sense, kind of similar. A little bit similar to being barred. It was a weird experience for me. Definitely weird. It was like, that's really all I did during this high, this oxy high. I just kind of sat there and played games. And eventually, after, maybe like a couple hours of playing games, I was just like, all right, I feel great right now, so I want to go lay down. So I go and I lay down on my bed, and I'm still watching YouTube videos, doing the same like bum shit, just not doing anything productive. And I completely forgot to take my dog out. I was supposed to take my dog out. I fucking fell asleep. I completely forgot. I was laying there watching YouTube videos for God knows how long. Did not care about the time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 30, 45 minutes. And eventually I just put the phone down, and I was kind of like, all right, I'm just going to just rest real quick. Just a quick rest. Now, when you're on opiates, there's no such thing as a quick rest. If you lay down and want to go to sleep, you're gonna go to sleep. And that's what happened to me. I knocked the fuck out. I got good sleep. And it was like early in the afternoon. It was like maybe like 5 o'clock at this point, if even. And I just knocked the fuck out. And I woke up at a really weird time. I woke up at like 3 a.m. the next morning, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, what the hell just happened? Like, I basically slept off what would have been the rest of the high. It was a weird experience. I'll say that much, guys. It was I don't want to say a hoot and a holler. It was kind of a hoot and a holler, but kind of not. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Once again, I'm going to be attempting, keyword attempting, to live stream on Twitch. So hit me up. Check that out in the description. Hit me with that follow. Watch me get fucked up in Skyrim. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.